My name is Karma Hunter. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I am a marketing strategist and a business development advisor. I am the owner of Karma DNA, an AI marketing automation agency. Also, I'm a business development advisor at SBDC, Nevada SBDC, UNLV's Office of Economic Development Center. If you don't know about SBDC, it's the Small Business Development Center, which is SBA's resource partner. We are funded by Small Business Administration and UNLV. And we do give business advice at no cost to you. And we give business advice in all different areas of your business. Could be about your business plan, business formation, loans, funding, operations, HR, marketing, anything you can think of at any stage of your business. So if you need help, any business advice, please go to nevadasbdc.org and request advising, and you'll be paired up with an expert and you can get advising at no cost. So today we're going to be talking about marketing foundations for startups, ideation to validation, and this is going to be your 90-day roadmap. It may take you a little bit longer than 90 days depending on what type of product or service, but this is going to give you an idea of the different strategies you may want to follow for your startup. If you have questions as I'm going through the presentation, please don't hesitate to ask. You don't have to wait until the end. So our agenda. We're going to talk about our goals. We're going to talk about our phase 1, which is the ideation stage, and then our phase 2, which is the validation stage. And we're going to talk about our next steps and some deliverables. So our goal, by the end of this workshop, you'll have a clear roadmap of the first 90 days of your ideation and validation stage of your startup. So if you have an idea of a startup, then we're going to be talking about this. How many of you are in the ideation stage right now? Okay. How many of you are in the validation stage? Okay. Do we know the differences of this validation and ideation stage? Okay, let's talk about this. So during the ideation stage, right, we have an idea. We're thinking, okay, this is a great idea. I want to start building this product, or I want to start giving this service. We don't know yet if we're going to have any people liking this product or any type of, if we're going to have any traction or anything just yet. This is just the idea phase. During the validation phase, this is when we have a minimum viable product, and this is when we're going to start doing some testing a little bit, right? So that's the difference. And during the ideation phase, this is where we start creating a business plan. During the validation phase, we're a step further. Now we're trying to execute our business plan a little bit. So why focus on ideation and validation? First, we want to avoid the building solution no one needs, right? What happens is, a lot of the times, especially with tech, right? If you are a techie person, and most of the times, techie people, we say, oh, this is a great idea. This is a great solution, right? And we think everybody's going to love this idea. But if we don't do any market research, and if we don't talk to the people that we want to sell this idea to, we don't really know if this is really going to solve a problem for the people we want to sell this to. So that's why if we just think to ourselves that this is a great idea, we may not know if it is a sellable idea, right? And I've worked with many tech startups before, tech companies before, where the product owner, and when I say product owner, this is usually the tech guy who's building the product, they thought, okay, this is a technology that never been seen before. I am building this from scratch, and nobody has this, right? So that's why this is a great idea. But then I've been in positions like CMO, head of demand generation and such, and I come in and I think, okay, is this really solving a big problem for a big market? Because if it's not, who are we going to sell this to? Yes, it's a great idea. Yes, we've never seen this technology before, but is it really solving a problem? So this is the important part, because you got to be marketable, right? That's why solution is very important. Is it really a solution? Validate assumptions early to save time and money. We don't want to assume it's a problem because it is a new technology. And create a strong foundation for growth and scalability. And this is important. Why? Because a lot of times we see founders or developers work on this idea and they develop it. They develop the product, they develop the brand, and they launch it without having any leads, without anyone having really tested it, really developed it. And without any leads, they launch the product. Where do you launch it? In the air, right? Without any leads, who are you selling it to? So now you got to backtrack. You lost all that time to, creating the product or the service development, but you didn't actually develop it because you didn't have leads. You didn't test it correctly. So now you lost the money, you lost the time. You got to do everything all over again. So we want to save the time and make sure we have a good foundation for growth and scalability. Phase 1. So during the phase 1, the ideation phase, we want to typically give 1 to 45 days. And of course, when I say these days, I'm going to close the door, sorry. They're having a lot of fun. So when I say 1 to 45 days, of course, this depends on the complexity of your idea or the product, right? During this time, we want to refine your startup idea and define your target audience. Because if you have an idea, you can't really sell it to everyone, right? You have to define a segment of the market. You got to define your target audience. So first, we want to define the problem. What problem is this product or service solving, right? And then research your competitors. Are there other people solving this problem? And I don't mean that are there other people who have the same product or similar service. I really mean, are there other businesses, brands, product or services that are solving the same problem? It may be a very different product or service, but it may be solving the same problem. So you got to look at that, right? And build ideal customer profiles. This is very important. You don't want to say that your target audience is females in between 25 to 55 years old. That's almost 1/3 of the country, right? You can't sell something to such a wide audience. And the reason why is because everybody is speaking a different language, right? When you look at females within 25 to 55 years old, there are so many different interests and behaviors within that market too. There are so many different segments within that market. So the way you speak to me as I'm 42 years old. As a 42-year-old woman who is highly educated, who has a career, who lives in the city, right, is completely different than a woman who is maybe in her 20s, who hasn't been to college just yet, who is maybe in the suburbs, who is not living in the city. It could be completely different, right? So that is why you got to make sure that you're segmenting your target audience and building ideal customer profiles. So it could be that you want to serve a large audience, but make sure you're segmenting this audience to different profiles and building different personas for them. Because again, like I said, the language you're going to speak is going to be different, and it has to match them. The messaging needs to match them. Formulate hypotheses. This could be something like, after your market research, it's going to be maybe, we believe that this target audience will pay $39.99 for a AI accounting platform, right? Because you did your market research, now you know your market, and you're building an AI accounting platform, let's say, and now you know this type of people will pay this price for your platform. And that's your hypothesis, right? So these are important because you got to do your market research and understand the market and what is right and what is not. You got to kind of gauge your market. And create a landing page. Why are we creating a landing page? Do we know what a landing page is? Anyone?
Landing page is basically a place where people can come to essentially get the product or some content to entice them to give that they can give you their information because they're interested in more information.
Yes. What's the difference than a regular web page?
A web page basically kind of lays out everything. The landing page is basically the intent to give that one content.
Yes. So exactly. So a website is more informative. It tells more general information about your product, services, company, brand. A landing page is a standalone page to give one single information to make people take an action. And specifically, this would be for them to give you their email address so that you are giving them maybe some type of information like an ebook, a PDF, or getting them into your newsletter or waiting list, maybe your trial of your app and such, right? Because this is for you to generate leads, basically, for you to collect their information, right? That is the only reason why you're making a landing page, so that you don't just send them to different links, so that it is one standalone page and taking that one action. And in order to create a landing page, you don't have to have a full-on website. You don't have to have a bunch of branding, right? And this is a place where a lot of founders make a mistake and they feel like, oh, I have to have a bunch of branding. I have to have a whole website done. And you don't, right? You're in the ideation phase. Don't worry about your branding, your website, and all of these things yet, because most of the time, after your ideation phase, and even in your validation phase, things may change, right? Maybe you are going to decide that this is not the right audience for me. These are your early adopters during your validation phase, which we're going to talk about. And maybe those early adopters are not your ideal client. Maybe your target audience, but they may not be your ideal client. So then you may tweak your brand strategy. Depending on you tweaking your brand strategy, your branding may change. So now you're going to need to change your website, right? So that's why don't go into trying to be like, oh, I need to do all my branding. I need to get a full-on website. Create landing pages. And in order to create a landing page, you can just get like a CRM platform that you can create landing pages on, and you can work with that. So also, we'll get to that in a second, sorry.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can your landing page sort of be like a survey?
Yes.
So would a landing page start out as a survey?
Yes, sure, definitely. Definitely, which is a great way.
You make a landing page, you put out your survey. For example, I'm a licensed massage therapist, You've had a survey, have you had a massage before, have you been injured at work?
Yes.
Or whatever you might want to say.
Yes.
And then that creates your information for your target audience?
Yes, definitely, it could be. And that's a great way to actually collect information and get feedback from your audience, because now you're going to determine their needs. So that's a great way to do it.
Offer like a discount or something.
Yes,
on that first
yes, perfect. That's a great way.
I have a question.
Yes, sure.
So you mentioned like a CRM can do
Mm-hmm.
a landing page. Are there like free ones? Like Zoho, HubSpot? or-
Yeah, a lot of CRM platforms will give you a free trial, and some of them will give you the free version up to maybe like 1,000 subscribers. So try those. HubSpot will give you the free version with some restricted features. So you can try and look at those.
And if you use a CRM for your landing page, then when people fill out, like you mentioned, if they fill out the survey, will that data automatically go into the CRM?
Yes, it will. It will. It will collect it there.
So, I mean, there's CRMs and there's also like e-marketing type of thing. Like, so CRM, like one page CRM versus like MailChimp, which is not really I mean, they have landing pages as well. What would be a difference between like MailChimp, which you still can collect information and have a landing page, versus like a CRM, like one page or HubSpot?
I mean, MailChimp is sort of like one in a simplified format. I never recommend MailChimp, honestly, but you can go and try that. Also, just to let you know, in my agency, we have a proprietary platform that is all in one, and everything is on there, which is email, website, CRM, DM bot, SMS bot, all the AI, everything included. And we created that because all of our clients were using so many different platforms and integrations and everything, and they were paying like, we calculated it's like $1,400 a month for all the platforms and integrations. So we decided to build this platform, and they're just paying $97 now every month. So it was a lot more affordable. Yes, ma'am.
So you said your agency built, the agency you mean is the government?
No, my private agency. Yes, Karma DNA. My agency, yeah. So that's what we're doing now, because there's so many platforms. And after the landing page, of course, when you go full on business, you're going to need more platforms and integrations so that you don't switch platforms and you don't integrate everything. That's why we decided to go into this solution. And now with AI overwhelm and all of these different tools and uses of tools, that's why we decided to choose that. So you can look into those type of solutions as well, all-in-one solutions.
Would you recommend or suggest or whatever that a landing page would then be good to kind of like segue into your internet page? Like you do landing page first, and then the next step is your internet page, so they can find out like what services you provide? Or would you say that should be separate?
It should be separate. Now, if you get to that stage, then I would do something like, after they give you their information, then I would give them like an email sequence and kind of inform them more, and then send them to your website maybe, and kind of lead them to book appointments with you.
Like if you click it, the link, then it sends them to your link.
To your webpage, yeah, from the emails that you send.
Oh, from the email.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it would be a completely different page, of course, your website. Yeah, there would be different
So
pages.
that's for the finding your clientele.
Yes.
Your landing page is to find your clientele.
To generate leads for you, so that then you can convert those to, yes, so that, yes, definitely. Define the problem. So we said we got to define the problem, right? And what problem does your product solve? We said this is the most important part. We have to think about what problem we're solving. and who experiences this problem. This is the most important part. What problem are you solving for who? So if you narrowed this down, this is the biggest, most important part of your ideation phase. Why hasn't it been solved effectively before? And this is a good question too. Why hasn't it been done before? Now, I'm sure there are other peoples in the market. Why didn't they do before? And if it's been done before, because it could have been done before, right? What can you do differently? What can you do better? And that's going to be your differentiation. Because when you look at your business plan, when you look at your marketing plan, these questions will always be asked, right? What problem are you solving? What is your solution? What is your differentiation? And who's your target audience? These are always going to come across, even if it's not in your marketing, in your business plan. Even when you're going for a loan application, even if you're going for, even if you're doing your pitch deck and going for, investors to get funding from the investors, these are always going to come up. And who else is solving this problem? We said what gaps exist in the market. So this is step 2, researching competitors. Like we said earlier, when you're researching competitors, don't only look for the similar products and services, look for who is solving the similar problems. It could be a completely different product, completely different type of service, but are they within the same solution and problem and solution market? So make sure to look at that. And what gaps exist in the market? Can you actually close those gaps? If you can close those gaps, you're gold. That's when you can actually sell this product. And step 3, build ideal customer profiles. We touched on this before. Identifying demographics, pain points, goals, and buying triggers. Demographics is not the only thing when we look at our ideal customers. More important thing is their pain points, their goals, their buying triggers, their interests, their behaviors. How are they behaving? What do they want? What are they complaining about? I'm going to have a workshop next Sunday during Global Entrepreneurship Week. And this workshop is going to be about leveraging AI for content creation. But it's not just going to be about content creation, it's going to be about how we can build these profiles and how we can address these things in our content as well. So I'll show you the QR code if you want to check that out in the end.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you define like the buying triggers? Like what does that really mean in this case? Like I can see it meaning a number of different things, but
right. So this could be, yes, like you said, it could be a number of different things. Where are they going to buy things? How are they getting their information? What channels are they looking at? Also, it could be their awareness levels. This is something I teach about a lot that people don't talk much about. So there are awareness levels of your target audience. Some people are not even aware that they have a problem, right? Some people are aware that they have a problem, but they're not aware of the solutions there are in the market. Some people are aware of the solutions, but they're not aware of the products that are in the market. And some people are aware of all the products, but they're not aware of your product just yet, right? So depending on their awareness level, their buying behaviors are going to be different too. Because as a person, let's say as a person who has no idea about marketing, let's say, right, their buying behavior is going to be completely different about a CRM platform than me being a marketing expert and looking at a CRM platform. So those are all different buying behaviors. Or me, let's say I'm a person who shops online, but my grandmother doesn't like shopping online, right? She wants to go to every place. I like to do everything either over the phone or on the internet. My grandmother wants to go to the bank every time, right? So those type of differences.
Buying triggers is like a form of like impressions, I guess. Like, what are the right impressions to get in front of that?
Yes, because we want to create as many touch points as we can until we make the sale, and buying behaviors are going to let us know how we can create those touch points and where.
So you'll have multiple ideal customer profiles because they'll have different buying triggers and different pain points.
Exactly. So when I create buying profiles for my business, let's say, right, I have tech startups, I have consultants, I have med spas in my business that we serve, I have digital marketing agencies and other marketers. So all of their profiles are completely different and their buying behaviors are completely different, right? So I make a completely different profile for all of them. Use surveys and interviews for real world insights. Exactly what you said. And surveys are important for this reason. When we are creating our messaging, our brand strategy, which is very, very, very important, we want to use their words, their language, right? So that's why we want to survey as many people as we can in our audience. But when we survey them, we really want them to write down, or we want to record them as the words are coming out of their mouth, right? We don't want to paraphrase them. We don't want to just think what their goals are, or we don't want to think their pain points. We really want to capture what they're saying as they're saying it, the way they're saying it, because our messaging needs to capture that. Think of it this way. In commercials, right? When someone says something you're interested in, you go, what? But if you hear words that weren't relatable to you, you don't care about that. You don't really listen to that. So it's important. Now, if something started saying, hey, marketers, I'll look, right? But if it said, hey, technicians, would I look at that? No, I'm not a technician, right? So that's very important. Any questions here?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So for the surveys and the interviews, when you conduct them, I'm sure that all the questions will be different depending on what you're offering, what industry you're in. Are there any good general questions that one can start off with to kind of create a template of what to use for the right questions to ask when you do surveys and interviews?
So of course it would be, bless you, it would be different, like I said, depending on the product or the service. But if you're in the very beginning phase, I would say ask about their, again, pain points, goals, what they have done until this point to fix the problem, what worked, what didn't work for them, those type of questions. Ask about, if they're using another service or product to fix it, what they like about that or not, those type of questions. I do have a list of questions that I can send you, high level, that you can kind of, edit it to your product or service. Yeah, definitely. Send me your email later on. We can talk after. Yeah.
Thank you.
What medium would you recommend or suggest for a spot to put your landing page? Like, I don't know, on games or on like Facebook or Instagram? Where would be a good landing page to get?
What do you mean by, like, what platform?
I play games, and then you have to watch a commercial, and the commercial could be like a landing page asking questions. So if I'm to have a landing page, how is people going to find my landing page?
You will drive traffic to the landing page. So either with your content on social media or by running ads, you're going to drive that traffic. So let's say you're going to create content and say, You said massage therapy? Okay, so maybe you're gonna talk about massage therapy and then you're gonna say, hey, I have a survey, comment the word comment the word survey for me to send you my survey so you can take the survey, right? And then they're gonna comment survey and then you're gonna send your link to them. Or you're gonna put it in your bio link and then say, go to the link in my bio to take the survey. That type of. Or you're gonna run an ad. The ad will tell them to take the survey. So you gotta just drive traffic to it. All right. We talked about this. And step 4, formulate hypothesis. So this is when you define your assumptions about your solution and audience. And this is, like we said, example, we believe small business owners will pay $30 a month for an AI-driven scheduling tool, right? Because we did our market research. We looked at small business owners, what they typically pay for scheduling tools. We looked at other scheduling tools. Now we know market is around this much. This is how much they may pay. We kind of validated this, right? We haven't validated yet, I'm sorry. We have an idea that this is what it is. And this is where we create a landing page. This is to test interest and capture leads, right? And key elements, headline, value proposition, CTA, lead capture form. So I do have a free course teaching you how to create a high converting landing page. If you go to my Instagram, it's The Real Karma Hunter, and click the link in my bio. That link will give you 4 different links, and the top one will be that free course teaching you how to create a high converting landing page, which will also give you other courses as well, other free courses about how to create content as well. The Real Karma Hunter. And that's because my first account was stolen, so that's why you'll see The Real Karma Hunter. All right, phase 2, this is a validation phase. It may take longer than 45 days because this is where we're creating our minimum viable product or minimum viable offer. This is where we're testing our assumptions. Remember, we now have assumptions. And this is where we're validating interest and refining our concept. So in order to do that, we're going to engage with our target audience. We're going to create our minimum viable offer or product. And bless you, text willingness to sign up or use. You may test willingness to pay as well, but maybe not yet. So it all depends on your product or service here. Step 1, engage with target. Yeah.
Quick question about that last slide.
Sure.
How do you enter the market and validate? Back in the old days, we call it a smoke test. There's no product. There's no nothing. There's just an idea. How do you toss an offer out, get response without compromising your participants because you don't have anything to sell them or give them at that moment?
Before the minimum viable offer?
No, you have the MVO, but you don't have the MVP. All you have is the MVO.
MVO is what?
Minimum viable offer.
What is it?
You mean the idea itself? It's a product that is heavily dependent upon formulation, a lot of cost involved.
So MVO is MVP. It's the same thing.
But the product doesn't exist.
Well, if
So basically you have an idea.
Yes.
well,
But you still want to have it. So are you like in a seed area point where you want to get funding and so forth, or you just want to have it? You're just trying
I'm in ideation, federal grant money stage.
So basically,
so
so basically he has an idea.
that's not the validation phase yet. If you don't have a minimum viable product yet, that's not the validation phase yet. And I highly doubt it that you can go for grant process I'm sorry to
Let's-
say
let's-
that. But let's talk about that.
exclude that part, that
Yes.
assumption.
Yeah.
Because I can articulate the idea and the offer explicitly, and the benefit, and the cost, and the business model.
Yes.
Explicitly.
Yes,
But I want to go out and validate to the market
I'm sure.
and get response, and people say, yeah, love it.
So you
I'm
need
sure.
ways to build your MVP, is that the
Yeah.
issue?
Which is secondary, tertiary, quaternary.
Right now,
I'm in
you're in
initial.
R&D.
Yeah, because I fear that the formulation costs will be difficult to acquire,
You do a pre-seed
and it
with
will have to
an
come out
angel.
of my pocket.
Do a pre-seed with an angel.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you can do, but let's talk offline about that.
Okay.
I've been, sorry to cut in, but I guess to what you're talking about is kind of like, yeah, like who are the people that I can for sure lead up to get signed up for the MVP?
I know who they are. I just
Yeah.
want them to, I have identified them explicitly, but I just want them to say, yeah, like if I would do that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's a process, and this kind of helps with the seed of like you get them to sign like kind of like green light of like, yeah, I'm gonna be a customer when it's built.
Like
Which
Indiegogo, like Kickstarter.
About the customers, that's what we're going to talk about. But when it comes to the investors and funding, we can talk about that with the SBDC side of it, because that's something we talk about a lot and help a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say beta testers and surveys.
Yeah. Baby testers is here.
But you can do a lead magnet, going back to what we were talking about earlier, you can use a lead magnet to pull in beta testers, and that can validate or get an advisory
Yes.
board that's strong.
That's here, yeah.
It's gonna go to pre-seed.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about here as far as beta testing. And that's why we're having minimum viable offer for beta testing. So, yeah.
How do you take into account what part of the business cycle we're all in? You may have the world's greatest product, but if you're in the depths of a recession, I mean, you may get no response at all, but it may be good during a normal business cycle, when business, I mean, how do you?
If there's a need for it, it doesn't matter if there's a recession or not. Now, if there's a luxury item, of course it's not going to stand to recession. But if there's a need for it, and if you can show that there's going to be ROI, it doesn't matter if there's recession. Because if there is ROI in the end, then it's better for me during recession, right? I sold some of my highest ticket items during recession. Because why? I'm giving them ROI. They're selling more, right? They couldn't sell at all during recession, and we build them systems to help them sell, showing that ROI made us being able to sell it to clients because they saw that they were going to be able to sell their products. They were going to be able to market their products. So, and during recession, they were able to sell after the systems we built. So if you can show the ROI, then it doesn't matter if it's recession or not.
You could also test out kind of pricing too. So at the time, if you
Yeah.
have interest, and then try to figure out kind of where the price differential is. You know, where what's that tipping point where, you know, that they feel comfortable as well. Knowing that it's recession, keeping it low, and then when the business, the economics change, then you know you can go up a little bit more. So you can use that as a testing bed.
I mean, during the testing process, you can, of course, have lower prices, definitely anyway, so you can do that too. All right, next one. Engage with target audience. Again, we always got to keep engaging with our target audience. We have to keep them engaged with us because we need their feedback at all stages. conduct surveys, polls, or interviews, because now we have a minimum viable product, right? We need them to tell us feedback about the minimum viable product. Before, we were surveying them about their, goals and pain points and things like that. Now we have the product, we're surveying them about their product when they're testing it, because we have the minimum viable product.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think a product, the assumption is physical product. Like this is a product, but what if product is service?
Mm-hmm. Product could be a service. Mm-hmm.
You approach it same way?
Same way, yes. Then you get beta testers for your service. Let's say you're giving, I don't know.
She said massage is a service.
Right, is a service. Yeah, then you get beta testers for your service. Maybe let, I don't know, have a couple of clients as a, I don't know, you give free service and get their testimonials. Use their testimonials. Or maybe you have a new package, right? You're having them to use the portion of the package to get their feedback and survey them. So it is all beta testing process for you. Mm-hmm. It could be service or the product, same thing. And drive traffic to your landing page via ads or outreach. Here we created a landing page to get those testers, the beta testers for our minimum viable product or offer, right? So we're getting driving traffic to that landing page. It could be, think about it, if you built an app, maybe you're given free trial, free accounts, right, for the beta app. So it could be a landing page for your testers for the app. A clickable prototype, a short video demo explaining about the product. Those could be minimum viable offers. So maybe your minimum viable offer, when you said you don't have a minimum viable product just yet, that could be a demo video talking about your offer, right? Or a clickable prototype. This, we've done this with a couple of clients before. We created mock-ups of the pages, like the app, right? And then it was clickable. So we did like a screen recording through the clickable mock-ups. And that shows almost like a app, how the app would work. So even if you don't have the full product, you can do mock-up. Mm-hmm.
That's a cool idea. We do, where I work, we do a lot of that with Figma and Miro.
Yes, exactly.
We have
You can do that with Figma.
a UX team that's just like
Exactly.
hundreds of people.
Exactly. Figma is great for that. Mm-hmm. And validate willingness to pay or use. So this is tricky. You may validate pay by getting a few people to start paying, but if it's a platform, app, that kind of sort of tech product, I don't recommend you to start charging at first. The reason why is because of what we call network effects. And this is for the type of products, type of apps that you need users in, right? Because if I don't see any other users on your product, why should I be on that product, right? So that's why you want as many users on the platform at first as you can, and that's why you're going to need to give some free accounts first. And you don't want to start charging at first. Do like maybe first 1,000 users free, or at least first couple of hundred free, because you want people for network effects in your app. Because I don't want to be the only one there, or I don't want to be just 5 people on the platform, right? That's why you need network effects. Think of it as if Uber had only one driver on Uber, right? How are you going to use Uber? And this is the Uber story too. They started with one driver, but then they needed a bunch of drivers, right, in order to have Uber. It's the same thing. So that's why you want to have a bunch of people on your app at first. What is it?
Like the telephone, when the telephone was invented.
Yes, you needed a bunch of telephone users so they can call each other. Exactly, same thing. Yeah, same thing. Oh, there's a book about Uber actually.
Social networks, yeah. it's-
No, startup
Yeah.
problem or something.
Also-
Cold
yeah,
start
that's
problem.
it.
Yes, that's the one. That's the
It's a
one.
really great book.
Yes, it is. It is.
You actually learn about how the credit card system, so the network effect part of this is like
Yeah.
the niche, the strongest niche to build this network out of, right? Because of the Uber situation, it's a two-sided marketplace, right? So that's very unique to them. Not every business is going to be like that, but service is a little bit different. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love that book. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a great book.
So here we're running pre-sales campaigns and asking for early signups to test our minimum viable product. And now we're going to ask them, since this minimum viable product, we haven't developed it completely, we're going to ask them what they think so that we can develop it more to get, this is our beta version. We want to develop it and make it completely viable. And any questions?
It's just a question, I don't know, it's a topic, it's pretty huge, and apologies in advance for throwing it out, but it's something I'm really interested in, is channel, distribution channel. Once you validate it and you're ready to go out, then it gets crazy thinking about, for some reason I was just thinking about multi-level marketing. And I'm like, nobody does that anymore, but it's such
A lot of people do that. Oh, a lot of people do that.
It's not vogue like it used to be, you know? What's the hot product now?
Oh, a lot of people do that.
Oh, a lot of skincare brands.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Unfortunately, even in digital marketing, people sell courses with MLM. Be careful with that. Yeah. They say, oh, I'm a digital marketer. They say, I'm a digital marketer, and then they sell a MLM course like it's Tupperware. So
I.e. like Simply Passive, Digital Wealth Academy, like all that. Oh my God.
yeah, unfortunately, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
so
why.
You're all an expert.
Fulfilled, FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, social media, DTC, direct to consumer, I mean, channel marketing, and I guess everybody kind of, mine is product based, and I guess you want to get to that point where you blow past all this, you own the DTC and all the attached marketing costs, and now you're just a direct to retail chain. You know, you go the shabby chic selling at Walmart now. You know, Rachel Ashley went from selling, you know, $20 million a year to $2 billion a year with one deal.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Is that what you're looking for?
Do? Hell yeah, I want to know.
Are you D2C?
Huh?
Are you D2C?
It's going to be DTC initially.
Is it a physical product?
Yes.
Okay.
Subscription. Not physical.
Oh, okay.
The DTC part of it is subscription. Beyond that, it would just be straight retail.
Okay. I mean, you can do it, you can start it so many different ways, but you're still going to have to validate it before you get into, you know, any channel.
Well, I will be calling
So-
you a lot on your business card. So yeah.
Sure, yeah, but let's talk. Let's talk more afterwards. Yeah, definitely. Any other questions? So this is the workshop on the 24th about leveraging AI for content creation. It is about 70% discounted for Global Entrepreneurship Week. So take advantage of it. And it creates, we're going to be creating a whole year of content. And it's going to be tailored for your business. Also, we're going to be creating an AI marketing agent as well. So please take advantage of it and let those know who may benefit from it. Also, if you're looking for a system, an automation system that will help you build an email list and book appointments in your sleep, completely automated, let me know and I can give you more information about that. Yeah. And thank you for coming. Let's talk outside. If you have questions, personal questions for your business, I'm happy to help.
I just.